last time on Dragon Ball EX, Trunks would be the first to fall to the imposter who possesses Goku's body. At the same time, Pan has arrived with the Blutz Wave Generator, with Vegeta and Goten still off planet, and Gohan more or less powerless to stand up against this evil invader. How much good will it do?
This story is created by Sebliet as part of an ongoing series. Catch it fully using the links below.
Still sobbing the loss of Trunks, and remembering all the good times they've had over the last few years. Pan beckons why? Why did he do this? Her father pleads for her to stop knowing what she's about to do. Launching after the villain. She realizes it's her grandfather. But this doesn't make any sense. Why would he? Before she can even finish the sentence, he reaches out growling that she's quite a nuisance. But he loves to see people suffer. Grabbing her at the neck. Gohan knows it's now or never. If he doesn't do anything, Pan is going to be joining Trunks. Feebly rushing to save his daughter, his adversary smiles at his stubbornness. Accept it! You've lost! Now grabbing him by the throat, the imposter would like to give him some advice. There is no point in fighting for other people. People are ungrateful, and they will all, eventually, end up turning their back on you either way. Tossing our hero to the ground, he claims he will now destroy this planet. When he's hit by someone from behind, but who attacked him? In a shocker, not Goten or Vegeta, but 17. He comments that Goku's changed a lot since he last saw him. Piccolo's here as well, fresh out of hell, Halo and all. Relief washes over Gohan seeing his mentor again, for the first time in a long while. He tells his friend, equally happy to see him, to rest for now. We see a halo over 17 too, signifying he wasn't resurrected after the Shadow Dragon arc, as was stated in Perfect File Volume 2, but either chose to stay in Otherworld, or Shenron did not deem him worthy of revival given how the wish was stated. He instructs Piccolo to also take the girl, referring to Pan. The evildoer takes particular interest in 17. Why couldn't he feel his ki when he attacked just now, naturally not knowing he's a cyborg? Who the Namekian informs he's gotten them both to a safe place. Where and how is a mystery, though the android puts his focus on what they should do next. At the Otherworld check-in station, Yama lets out a sigh of relief that the pair arrived just in time. After that little MajinBlue incident, he needs to be a little more cautious with the souls he sends to hell, which could refer to the millions of lives lost, or warriors like Vegeta who sacrificed themselves for the greater good, but still lived largely sinister lives. The imposter notices their halos, which clearly means they're dead, so they shouldn't be here. Could it be that? As a couple more feet tap down, things are looking better than ever for our heroes. Goten and Vegeta have arrived. The villain looks in their general direction, but these two, he knows them from somewhere. Getting a closer look, that's right, he recognizes them from that planet he accidentally teleported to. Ignoring these comments, Vegeta questions the others if they know anything about this guy. Alas, they don't. Just about the same he's already aware of. He and 17 arrived to find Gohan and Pan injured badly. So in that case, the prince figures they'll just have to make him talk. But beforehand, Piccolo mentions he has something Pan brought. She told him to give it to him. Inside this capsule is the Blutz Wave Generator. Though, the Saiyan figured it would be his son who's going to bring it. In his absence, it seems he has completely abandoned fighting, completely ignorant to the fact he perished just moments before his arrival. Like Pan, Vegeta has a series of memories flash back to him as well, but not pleasant ones in particular. Ever since they met, Kakarot has always been able to best him in one way or another. Whether with his friends or a little bit of luck when he and Nappa first arrived on Earth, or secretly holding back his Super Saiyan 3 transformation when Babidi attacked. He calls out the imposter asking who he is and why he looks like Kakarot. It's obvious he's only a cheap imitation, so spill it. Is he a clone? A body thief? A long-lost twin? His opposite condescendingly beckons who he thinks he is talking to him like that. He is far superior to any of those claims, so the Saiyan better not try to get smart with him. Actually, he should kill Vegeta right now for his insolence. Though since he did travel all the way here just to see him, and because he loves to witness suffering of inferior beings firsthand, he will generously postpone the destruction of this feeble planet and give this challenger a chance. The villain is willing to tell them all about himself, who he is, where he came from, and most of all, why he merged with Goku. That is, of course, if they can somehow defeat him. Smirking and clicking the capsule, Vegeta's happy to hear such an easy request. With the generator in hand, he tells Piccolo to aim it at him and fire. Although he never had the opportunity to see what this machine does previously, the Namekian assumes this device will increase his power, so he complies without hesitation. Vegeta elaborates that when Kakarot left with the dragon, he thought he'd never see him again. He seemed so sure of what he was doing that he himself never expected him to end up in this kind of situation. As much as he has his doubts, he only hopes that this pale fraud's fusion with him doesn't disappoint and at least gives him a good fight. So, all he has to do is win, and he'll get to talking? Sounds fair. The prince is actually very curious as to how all of this transpired. In return, not Goku doesn't think this new foe will be able to satisfy his own curiosity. This form is nothing new. Having used it in battle himself, he believes he's already aware of all it has to offer. Worst case scenario, he imagines the two of them may be equal, but even in the event of a stalemate, he himself will walk to the finish line in his victory. Given the terrain they're on, he doesn't have a chance, though he's welcome to give it all he's got. Don't mock me! So quick to anger.
Incredible. Both have really impressive power. I don't think the Earth is the best place to do this.
Elsewhere, Kibito Kai pleads for his ancestors' approval to offer his assistance. If he allows him to go to Earth and heal Gohan, victory's assured. The Earth will be saved and this battle will come to an end. Who argues there is no point. Vegeta's too prideful. He will never let anyone interfere in this fight, even if it means failure. But the whole universe could be in danger. Again, all reasonable logic is thrown out the window. In this moment, the universe is what matters least to the Saiyan. They could give Vegeta a magical button that could erase that imposter from time and space. He would throw it right back in their faces in disgust. For what old Kai sees, if he had arrived before Goku had eaten that senzu bean, he would have had a little advantage in this battle, but now their power is the same. To trust in Vegeta is the only thing they have left. While his pride handicaps him in many capacities, it is also what's made him a genius in one-on-one battle. After taking a haymaker from Vegeta, and considering his fight with Gohan, the monster begins to understand that Goku studies his foes first, and his body has already gotten used to fighting in such a way. Vegeta mockingly calls him out to ask what happened. What's with that worried look on his face? He doesn't really have much of a comeback in response. You're going to die! Getting even, Naku mutters to himself that he told Vegeta he would never defeat him. But Goten doesn't get it. He and Vegeta have been training non-stop, but he's no stronger than he was a year ago. Why isn't he showing any improvement? Add insult to injury. 17 adds that Goku definitely seems weaker than when the two of them fought. Even with himself being brainwashed, and Goku being in his child form outside Super Saiyan 4, he's sure of it. Vegeta himself tries to make sense of what's going on. He trained like never before and his power hasn't increased at all. Has he really reached his limit? That moron isn't even as good as he was a year ago. But here they are. How disappointing. He's not even capable of defeating a copy of Kakarot. Is this his fate? To always play second fiddle to that clown? What does he have to do to finally surpass him? His aggressor so helpfully recommends he fight better. He's seen how Vegeta and the others have relied on the Dragon Balls far too much over the last few decades. They've grown so accustomed to them being their end-all backup plan to bail him out. But now, with all the Namekian Z and the power of the balls in his hand, if Vegeta dies, he will never come back to life. Just like that pathetic purple-haired boy. Purple-haired boy? That's when he realizes he can't sense Trunks' ki. The villain sadistically remarks that he should have seen him. He squirmed like a helpless rat.
My trance!
As the death of his son is heartlessly revealed, what is this new form Vegeta's obtained? Could it be the power hidden away from his training with Goten? Or has he really reached his ceiling, and this is merely his love for his family finally breaking through?